farm is around 30-35 kilometers from Bangalore. So we have around 18 acres of mango farm where we grow around 22 different varieties of mangoes and around 50 to 80 tons of harvesting every year. So, okay. So I started doing the mango farming probably in the year 2012. But this mango farm, the trees that we have in this mango farm are like 30-35 years old, and then around 1,000 trees. So in about 18 acres and then around 22 varieties. So the first 15-20 years, we used to do the chemical farming or whatever the pesticides, everything. Post that in 2015-16, when I started to take over the farm and then do the mango farming, I completely switched over to the natural farming. So 95-98%, I'm not using any chemicals. It's always the natural remedies like neem oil spray, Agniastra, all those things for any pesticide problem or anything. So for the first 20 years, we used to grow mangoes, give it to the middlemen. So though we harvest around 50 to 80 tons, we used to get a very meager or a less money, like 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh for all put together, 50 to 80 tons. So that's when it bothered us, because as a farmer, we put our effort, time, and money all through the year. But then when the harvest happens or when we have the crop, we give it to the middlemen. So they make money and they live a better life than us, whereas we have spent 12 months working in the field, but then they would work only for a month to pluck the mangoes or to harvest and then sell it to different parties. So that's when I decided, let me start with selling the mangoes myself. So in 2016, I started to sell the mango directly to the customers. I was fortunate that I had access to the city, which is like 25-30 kilometers, Bangalore. And then I could reach out to the apartments and some software companies as well, where I could do a direct selling of my mangoes. So it was not as I thought in the initial years. First year, it was a huge loss. I didn't even make a 1 lakh rupee also from that entire 18 acres. So I couldn't sell directly. But over a period of time, the next 3 years or 4 years, I was able to sell half of my harvest or the mangoes and then make 4 times or 5 times of the money what the middleman used to give me. That gave me a lot of confidence. And then I thought about what to be done with the leftover mangoes, which I cannot sell. So that's when I started to have value-added products thought in my mind. And then I built a small factory, pulp extraction unit in my farm itself, where today I can do a pulp production of, let's say, at least 1 ton per day. And any leftover mangoes which I cannot sell, I don't go to the market or give it to the middleman. I do a pulp extraction, keep it. Now, any farmer or anybody or any produce, what we have to think is, fresh fruit and vegetables has a short shelf life, which means within 2 to 3 days you have to consume. And if not, then farmers will do a distress sale where they can sell it at 1 rupee, 2 rupee a kg, or at 10 rupees a kg, or whatever. It's at the mercy of the APMC yard or a middleman or anybody. The same, if we convert the raw produce to a value-added product, let's say mango pulp. Mango pulp becomes the base ingredient for your juice, then aam papad or mango leather, or even to the ice cream flavors, anything and everything. And it has a shelf life of 18 months. So let's say that if I usually do the mango pulp in Neelam and Totapuri, where if I give it to a juice factory, they typically give me 8 rupees or 10 rupees a kg. But the same when I convert it to pulp, I get 150 rupees for a 850 grams pulp, which is 10 times the price of if I had sold the fruit directly in the market. So that is one thing where I found how could I reduce the spoilage or a wastage and still earn money. So today it's an 80-20 rule where 80% of my money comes from a 20% of the fruits. Because my 80% of the fruits are Neelam and Totapari, where I do not have a mass market for that. And then the people in Bangalore or in any apartments, they do not prefer to buy Neelam and Totapuri as it comes at the end of the season and then the rainy season would have started. So the 20% of the fruits where I have Alfonso or a Mallika or a Malgova, these 20% will give me 80% of my money what I target every year. So this year I do not have enough harvest, or it's all over India that mango season is very worst due to climate change or a heat wave, no rains in the March and April. But still, I was able to make money. I had some target where I have already reached it. So by let's say that selling just 5 to 6 tons, I was able to earn more than 10 lakh rupees in the last 1 month. So how did I do that? It's a simple thing. During the season beginning, the rate of mangoes will be high, where I grade the mangoes, and some of the varieties have sold at 200 rupees a kilo. And when it's a mid-season, it comes down to 150, or when it's the end of the season, it will be 100 rupees. So I ensure that there is a target value, and then that doesn't go below that. So that way, 5 to 6 tons this year has given me more than 10 lakh rupees. So the rest of the yield that I'm going to get, I'm going to convert it to pulp and then any other value-added products. And then again, I have a shelf life of 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months where I can still make more money on that. So what we have to understand as a farmer is we would put effort for 12 months, but then when we have the crop on hand, we lose our patience and then sell it off to the middleman or anybody at a low price, or whatever he says or he fixes the price, that is what we are going to get. But we should not lose patience at the time of selling, first thing. Second thing is, every village or every taluk or a district should have a sort of a small farmers organization where either you depend on the government schemes or you could also pull in money to have a value added centers or a value added factories to be established in every hogli or a village wherein the farmers can convert their products or a produce to a value-added products which gives them more money. Okay. So just for an example, if you sell milk, then you are going to get 30 rupees or 34 rupees you give to the dairy or a cooperative society or to the customer. But the same if you convert it to a paneer, cheese or anything, that gives you 4 times the money of the milk. So this is where we have to think that as a farmer, we should have that close network and an association so that we have every proper facility in case, we don't get a harvest or we get a over harvest also. We should not worry about dumping them on the roadside or something, but then convert it and keep it so that we can sell, let's say that tomato at one season goes up to 100 rupees a kilo. At some season, it comes down to 5 rupees a kg. So we cannot predict. It depends upon the climatic conditions. So, but then the same if you have converted to a sauce or a dried tomatoes or anything, that can be sold at a very high premium price. When the tomato price goes high, then you can sell these dried tomatoes to a lot of restaurants and pizza corners, anybody. So that way, we all have to work towards uh, um, what we say, the self dependent and not dependent on the market or the external factors or the customers.